Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode of Friday Foods and Facts with your favorite guy, me. So, if you guys look around, you may see some things have changed a little bit, yeah? So, got a new logo, new design here. Hope you guys are liking it. You'll start seeing this a lot more. It's going to be my brand, if you will. So, you'll see it around and about on a regular basis. Now, today, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the state of the market, what's going on, and then some changes that are coming down the line here relatively soon. So, with that being said, let's dive into it. All right. So, right now, with the state of the market, interest rates are in a pretty good situation. I was able to pull some loan scenarios where interest rates were at like 6%, 5.875%. So that's good. The Fed did have their talk, and they did indicate that they are seeing the inflation numbers going down. So we're winning there. That's a good thing there as well. What that's going to do is just going to create more opportunity because it's going to provide lower interest rates, which is going to provide lower payments, which is going to make it easier for people to qualify for a mortgage and get in and do what they need to do to purchase a property that they're interested in. So it's definitely something to it. I recommend, if you are qualified, get in the game. Don't wait on everybody else, because that's just going to make it harder for you, right? I know I sound like a broken record. I say it every week, but that's because it's true. There's the element of truth to it. The longer you wait, the more time it gives for someone else to get themselves prepared. And if you continue to wait, someone's going to come across and buy something that you wanted, you know? So don't miss out on that opportunity. Do what you need to do to get yourself in a situation where you're going to be successful. Um, Now, what I wanted to talk about as far as like some of the things that are changing, um, come May 1st, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have decided that they are going to change how they're calculating the cost for interest rates. And they've added some new things in. They've also just changed how much it's going to cost for specific scenarios, like be it property type or the amount of equity that's being put into the home, program type. So I wanted to share some of that information with you. One of the new things that's going into the calculation that hadn't been there before was debt to income ratio. Previously, the debt to income ratio was just there to determine uh, your total ratio, which would have an effect on your ability to repay. The risk based assessment was that if your debt to income ratio was high, you're more at risk to default because you have less money available to be able to pay said bills. The lower your debt to income ratio, the less debts that you had to carry, the better it was that you'd be able to pay. And so the underwriting systems and underwriters would review that and have a certain level of confidence, in being able to release what was called an approved eligible loan or accept eligible loan. So now it's going to be come May 1st that if your debt to income ratio is greater than 40% on a conventional loan option, it's going to cost you more money. And that is actually going to go into the pricing. So it's going to have a direct effect on what it is that you can qualify for, because that cost for the rate may change your rate. It may drive your rate up, or it may cause you to bring more money to the table, which you may or may not have. So that will have a direct effect on your ability to qualify for property. So I recommend when you're looking at properties now that you get your debts in order as far as like your monthly outgoing expenditures. If you don't have to have it on your credit, if you can't afford to pay for it cash, do so. Eliminate as much debt as possible, because it's only going to help you, right? The less debt that you carry, the less outgoing payments you have, so that's better for you there. And then also that's going to, like I said before, have a direct effect on what's available for you as far as interest rates are concerned. And so you want to do everything within your power to give yourself the best opportunity for success. And this is one of those things that's within your power, being able to control uh, how much debt you carry. So I would say do what you need to do to take care of that so that you can take care of yourself. Um, some of the other things that are changing, and that has some of them have already changed as far as like what they were trying to do regarding making things easier for first time home buyers and specific programs for them that have removed loan level pricing adjustments to make it easier for them to qualify. But by the same token, cash out refinances have been going through multiple changes as of late. One of which is now there's a seasoning requirement if you have a cash out refinance that you're trying to do. So what seasoning is a specific length of time that has to transpire before you can do anything with that transaction. So when it comes to the new cash out seasoning requirements, now we're looking at where you have to have been in the current mortgage loan for 12 months before you can take cash out of that property, where that wasn't the case before. Initially, it was if you wanted to take cash out, you could take cash out. There was no seasoning requirement. I mean, if it was a month after you closed on the property, okay, well, I take that back. There was a seasoning requirement, being that you had to have owned the property at least 6 months before you could take equity out of it. But that didn't mean that you had to be in that loan for 6 months to a year before you could take cash out of the property. So that nuance is definitely something that I think it's going to be one of those things where like it makes sense, because it just makes sure that people aren't just stripping the equity out of their properties. As soon as they get the home and they see that the value has gone up, now they want to take all the cash out and go do something with it immediately. No, it's going to help from the aspect of that people aren't going to be moving so quickly. They're going to give it a little bit more thought before they just do it. And I think it's going to be one of those situations that will benefit us all in the long run. I know it's going to kind of be a little bit annoying for some people who may have recently gotten a property and maybe they've had the property for 8 months and they want to look at potentially taking some cash out to maybe do some remodeling on the home. And now you're going to have to wait until you hit that 12-month point. So that may cause some discomfort, so to speak. But it'll be better in the end. Another thing that they were doing with that scenario was Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae actually had there was a slight difference in stance as far as what they were going to allow with regards to that 12-month seasoning. So if you had a home equity line of credit, Freddie Mac was saying you wouldn't have to have the 12-month seasoning. If that was the only lien and you were looking to do a cash out refinance, you wouldn't have to have the 12-month seasoning in order to be able to do that. Fannie Mae is saying, regardless of whatever type of loan you have to have 12-month seasoning before we let you take cash out of the property. So that is, something to know to that regard. And Fannie Mae is saying that's regardless of the loan type, whether it's a standard, forward moving mortgage, or if it's a home equity line. Either or, you could have to wait 12 months. And the other changes that they were making with this loan level pricing adjustment come May is actually going to, it's kind of weird, right? Like, it's going to become a little bit more expensive the more money you put down. They're making it cheaper if you're putting down like 3 to 5% purchase price. But as you approach 25% down, it's actually going to get more and more expensive. And then once you hit that 25% down point, then the costs begin to dissolve. So it actually behooves you almost to put the least amount of money down to keep more money in your pocket, because it's going to make your interest rate cheaper. Now, by the same token, though, if you do have the ability to put down 20%, yes, your interest rate may be cheaper if you put down less money, but by eliminating mortgage insurance, that essentially gives you the lower interest rate, because you're not paying that monthly mortgage insurance, which could be, couple $100 a month, depending upon your loan size. So that's going to save you money up front and in the long run, because your monthly payment is going to be less. So it's more and more becoming one of those situations where it's a case-by-case scenario, the evaluation of your scenario to figure out what you qualify for, and the nuances are becoming more and more meticulous with each scenario. And it's not blanket information anymore. It's something that you definitely want to sit down with a mortgage professional like myself to figure out what it is that you can actually do, what it is that you can actually qualify for, and what's going to make the most sense for your scenario. So I recommend, before you do anything, get with someone like myself. Not someone like myself. Let me recorrect that. Get with me, right? Get with me. We'll figure out what you can do, what's going to make the most sense, and then I'll get you with, a great realtor who works the area that you're interested in, and we'll get you taken care of and get you on the road to success. So, in a nutshell, that's really it. We are moving in the right direction as far as inflation. Yes, the Fed did decide to raise interest rates by another 0.25%. That we're seeing some wonky things in the bond market, but as a whole, we are moving in the right direction. And I do continue to believe that come second quarter, we are going to see rates in a much better scenario, because I'm already seeing it now. So, put yourself on the road to success by doing what you need to do as far as getting your credit score up. I've had a credit specialist on within the past couple of weeks. Go back, review that footage, take that contact information down, reach out to them, see what they can do to help you out. Manage your funds properly as far as like your debt to income ratio. Make sure that you're paying off your debt. Don't carry credit card debt if you don't have to. If you're in a position to where your vehicle is going to be paid off soon and you can afford to pay it off, I'd say maybe take a look at that, because those are typically larger payments. So if we can get that debt to income ratio down, it's going to have a direct effect on you and make things better for you. I actually do have access to a specific program for certain areas that is going to make it a little bit cheaper for you to buy in. So if you're interested to find out more about that program and how it works, call me. We'll talk a little bit more in detail. I don't want to just give all that information here. It's a more of a detailed conversation. Um, and it's going to be specific to the areas that you're searching for the property, so it is literally a case by case, like a house by house almost type scenario. Okay. So with all that information given, I do want to say thank you for joining me on another episode of Friday Foods and Facts. As always, my contact information is below. You can see my email there. You can see my phone number. And then I'm also going to have my website here down at the bottom. You can text me. You can call me. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram. You can catch me on YouTube. All my social media will be in the description down below. Also, the ability to make a calendar appointment and the direct link to my application. All that information is down below. So do with it as you will, but I recommend you giving me a call so we can see what we can do for you and how to help you be successful. Other than that, you have a great weekend. Thank you again for joining me on Friday Foods and Facts. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. If you're here in Michigan, stay warm because it is cold. If you're in the northeast side of the country, like New York, prepare yourselves for an epic wind chill I hear is supposed to be coming through. So do what you got to do to, stay warm. Make sure you bundle up and enjoy the rest of your lunch, right? And I look forward to speaking with you next week. If you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, do so. Put your questions in the comments, or you can message me directly, and I will address those. And you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for joining. See ya.